process them and capture the small stuff.
Yeah, so what we've been doing so far, and I think I'm missing like at least a couple steps at the end, is we've been getting 5 gallons of the
Of what he's dumping.
We've washed it. We've gotten rid of really obvious stuff that we know that we don't need, and we're keeping everything else. And then we come home with a bag full, but we're using their
big wide screens.
They're big wide screens.
Yeah.
So everything we have would be that, except if we start running out of time, in which case we take a 5-gallon bucket of anything, just scoop it up.
Yeah.
And walk out.
Right.
Like however many, if we have 3 of us and we've got 2 buckets cleaned, then the last bucket is just a bucket of something.
Well,
just right from what he
something.
pulled.
Better than something. The nice thing is, he always dumps in the same place pretty much. He drives around to the road.
Yeah.
And dumps pretty much in this area every time. Think of the layers of dump that have been put in there.
So just digging down.
Yes. Why would you dig in a dump that's already been processed by somebody else 1,000,000 times?
Yeah.
This is a hot. He doesn't dump over here much anymore. He tends to dump here.
Yeah.
And there's like 10 years worth of incredible stuff buried here. Perry Wells used to dig holes over here and came out with incredible barrels just right off this edge of the thing by digging down to earlier years.
With his 6 feet holes that you could fall down into.
Because the kids run all over it. It's trampled down into the next.
Yeah.
Then he tramps again and again. And he keeps adding to this road, and he moves it back and forth. But this is the good dump. This is nah. And over here with the sluice, that's all been processed.
Yeah.
So there's this wonderful area here. If I were going to take some home, I would rough screen it into a bucket.
Yeah.
Just shovel it through my screen into the bucket and get rid of all the big stuff. Now, I could glance at the big stuff, but it's really been picked over.
Yeah, of course.
And the good stuff is going to be not visible because it tends to be light colored and it's all mixed in with all that feldspar, crushed up feldspar, so you can't see it. So you've got to work blind and take that material home.
Yeah.
And process it at home where you can do it calmly and thoughtfully.
Well, then
wash it and screen it and go through it.
The next thing is, I guess, lighting is going to be kind of something for me to make sure I understand better. Right now, I'm only doing this in a particular part of my yard where the sun is absolutely clear, and I'm only doing it on really sunny days.
I don't know that it matters because you're going to be looking at it probably indoors once it's dry and screened and clean.
Well,
I don't examine stuff outdoors.
I don't even have lights like this. Yeah. So I haven't even invested in any indoor light sources. Yeah. I do have a small black light that I've been using for...
Well, now remember, I worked for 14 years on an area this big, and I made lots of finds and everything. You can do that because you're only processing a small amount of material at a time. You're not handling massive amounts of dirt. That's all. You've got that. I have an ivy bed in the front. I have a lot of ivy, and a lot of if there is clay, I wash the clay into the ivy bed so that my material is clean. Morefield doesn't have a clay problem, thank goodness, because what comes out of the mine is clean.
Yeah,
it's very clean. It has mica in it, which is very unattractive when it gets into your yard. Mica's forever. So again, if you have a place where you can dump your wastewater into an ivy bed or someplace where it's grown up, it's a little less aesthetically distressing. I have a monster driveway, which is wonderful too. I can put out my newspapers and dump my screened rock out there and spread it out and let the sun dry it.
Yeah.
And then it's all screened and box it, tub it up and bring it in. And then it's clean and dry and it waits for me. And when I get around, I can take a little scoop and sit down and play with it. It waits for me.
Mine has been waiting a long time.
If it's screened. Now, if it's screened, I always do the biggest screen first because that's quick.
Right.
And you work your way down because the smaller screen is the last. And if you don't have a scoop yet, you file that away.
Yeah, I was glad to see what you showed me over there with that because I've never seen anybody do that. And that's a relatively easy thing that anybody of any level of capability and without very much money could do.
I have made myself a small, with my husband's help, and he improved mine because mine wasn't so good. I made myself a small wooden frame screen like the ones at Morefield, but it's this big.
Yeah.
Like a 9 by 12 almost. because I can handle that. I can't handle those Morefield things. My God.
Yeah.
I need this size.
Yeah.
And I could put my choice of screen in it, a little smaller than Morefield, one size down.
Yeah.
And I can sit out there with a tub of water, and I can wash them off in there and dump it out into another container, and that suits me just fine. The thing you saw there is designed to go on site.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
The wooden screen I can use at home. One of those big. I use the plastic tubs.
Yeah.
And just work and clean the rock and screen it right there.
Exactly.
So,
okay, let's stop this.
But once it's sized and cleaned and dried, then you can do the big stuff fast. It's trashed out of here.
Yeah.
And the little stuff you can save.